What's going on, good people? Rich here.
School is in the building. What's happening?
Back at it again with another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. Special series, best episode ever. Today we are working on Martin season 2. We'll dive right into it here in a second, but appreciate everybody for coming back.
Yes.
The feedback has been great so far. I'm glad to see that a lot of people enjoy Martin just as much as we do.
Yes.
Season 1 was fun.
Yeah.
Just for those keeping score at home, the idea of what we're doing is we're trying to crown the best episode of Martin ever. And the way we're doing it, we're going season by season. We're picking out, me, School, and myself are making our top 5. We have some honorable mentions, and our winner goes to the finale, which we'll do at the very end. Like I said, for those keeping it score at home, School's number 1 episode for season 1 was The Great Pain Robbery, right?
Yes.
Okay. And mine was Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with Martin, which...
Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people were probably surprised by that. Crazy, call me crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy, like Mrs. Lionel Richie.
Hey.
Lionel Richie, yeah.
And if you don't know the story on that, look it up.
Yeah, look up Mrs. Lionel Richie if you ever get some time. If you ever want to know that joke. But like I said, man, we're covering season 2, which was one of the most difficult things I've had to do. Especially, I think it's easily the most difficult thing that we've done with the pod. As far as having a conversation. Speaking of, shout out to Ray. Shut up. What up, Rachel?
Ray.
Got to show you love. That's our wonderful co-host.
Yes.
For those of you who are just tuning in for Martin, also, I might as well say this. We cover movies. We cover films. This is like a mini-series that we're doing on the feed, but we have a ton of films that we've already done. We have another movie that'll be coming out this Monday. So those who aren't into Martin as much, you're crazy. But if you aren't and you're just looking for the movies from us, we'll drop them every other week while we're doing this. So we will have a movie coming on Monday. It will be a very fun episode, to say the least.
I can't wait.
Looking forward to it with that. But if you are, just now joining us, if you listen to episode 1, if you listen to our first ever episode of the Culture Garden Podcast, you know what season 2 of Martin means to us. It's the 1992 Jordan. It's the 2012 LeBron. It's, just referencing sports seasons that are just... You can't top them. They both of those athletes won Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP, regular season MVP, and a gold medal in those years. Like, they just accolade after accolade. And when you watch season 2 of Martin, it feels that way. There's just fastball after fastball after fastball, and it was almost impossible to try to get this list down. Like, what was your process like as far as narrowing this down? I know it had to be difficult,
bro. It was ridiculous. Every time I was like, okay, I'm here with this. I'm confident. Here comes another one that threw me off. And I'm like, damn, I forgot about this one. Every time sheesh, this is crazy.
Every single time it was like I'm adding episodes to the list. And I'm like, hold on, man, I got to trim this down at some point. But literally adding every single time, it didn't make any sense. And I was looking up some stuff online just because I'm like, are we the ones? I know it's generally perceived as the best season, but I'm like, are we going overboard? Let me check this out. So I was finding just some lists, some magazines, some websites, ranked random Martin episodes and things like that. And I found a list that did the top 25. Okay. It was made in 2014 just for, reference. Okay. But 13 of the 25 episodes came from season 2. Like 5 of the top 10, 3 of the top 5. Like that's how revered this season is.
Yeah, that makes me feel a whole lot better about. And even if you was to tell me to do a top 25, most of them would be on here.
I would believe
it would be 22 of the 25 would be season 2.
Look, man, it's gonna break my heart. Like leaving some of these episodes off. It just is. And any other season, they easily top 5, if not top 3. Yeah. But some of them don't even make honorable mention, right? And it just is what it is. That's just how loaded the season was. Yeah. It's funny.
So hold on. I just want to say this. So don't kill us now. If your favorite episode, and another thing that I want to mention too is like every time I think of like famous gifts and episodes of Martin, most of them are from season 2. My Mama Bird, all that type of shit. Like, comes from season 2.
Yeah, all types of stuff. Man, it's got a ton. It's loaded, man. I can't say that enough. It's loaded. I know we shouted out Ilfield last week. She's a huge Martin fan, as we keep saying. We were talking. Season 3 is actually her favorite, and that's kind of it's almost like season 3 and season 4 of The Wire. Like people go back and forth about that being the best season or their favorite season, and I can understand that. But I'm taking season 2 just because, like I said, fastball. I got another homegirl who's up there. I would say I will put her in that elite Martin fandom. Okay. And I know me and you discussed it just because of how many episodes are in season 2 or how many good ones. We're like, man, maybe this should be a 2-parter. Maybe we should do something. And she was
thinking a lot of shit.
She was like, yo, man, nah, like you grab your nuts. Like you guys are the Martin guys, you're the movie guys. Like you said you're gonna make a list, stick to it. So
this is what we gonna
find yourself a challenge. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So shout out to my homegirl. Let me ask you a question. Would this still be your favorite sitcom of all time if season 2 didn't exist? If you just had 1, 3, 4, and 5, would this still be your favorite sitcom?
Yes.
Okay.
Martin is Martin, bro. Like, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because season 3 is, I'm okay with a person looking at me and saying season 3 is their favorite season.
Absolutely. So, like when you look at that episode lineup, it's crazy too.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it when we get to season 3. Maybe I will enjoy it as more than I won't say more than I thought because it's my second favorite season as well. But there might be some more gems that I don't, aren't thinking about right now. Right. And we'll get right into it. One thing we didn't do is in the first episode we didn't even really shout out the cast.
No.
We were so excited to get into everything and talk about our list and everything. Yes. So. My bad for that. Our bad, should I say?
Yes.
Obviously,
flowers, brother.
Absolutely. You obviously have Martin Lawrence, who plays Martin Payne.
Go.
I don't know what else can be said. Like I think we're gonna sing his praises and flower him with roses the whole series. Yes. So obviously he's the reason this exists. So Martin, there can't be enough said. We have Tisha Campbell. No Martin, as she said on the reunion. Tisha Campbell or Tashina Arnold said. But Tisha Campbell, who played Gina, you have Tashina Arnold, who is Pamela James. But I just Tashina Arnold is so talented, and so is Tisha Campbell. But I just got to give a shout out to Tashina Arnold. Like she's incredible, and her work across sitcoms. Everybody Hates Chris, and just anytime she pops up, I'm just always pleased and happy. So shout out to her.
Absolutely.
You have Carl Anthony Payne as Cole Brown.
Yes.
And then you have Thomas Michael Ford, R.I.P. the late, great Thomas Michael Ford, who plays Tommy Strong. Not Strong, Tommy Strong.
And shout out to Carl because he was a legend before he even got here. Shout out to Cockroach. So.
Yeah. If you know, you know. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of the cast knew each other before Martin. Because Tisha Campbell and Tashina would be running into Carl at auditions and stuff. Like you said, he had been on shows and had a little bit of experience and things like that.
Yes, side note: Tashina and Tisha were in one of my favorite musicals of all time, Little Shop of Horrors. So,
and obviously Tisha and Martin worked together on House Party.
Yeah,
and Tisha actually was signed on for a pilot. I'm not sure what the show was, but she had signed on for a pilot. They had picked up 7 episodes. Martin had told her, like, during the House Party time, maybe even the Boomerang time, because they were in that together as well, that, hey, amazing. I'm getting a TV show. You're going to be my girlfriend. And Hollywood talk, as we see in the Barney Hill episode, Hollywood swinging. All right, you're just saying that. Yeah. And it came to it, and Tisha rolled on faith because she had a pilot with a guaranteed 7 episodes. Yeah. And he was like, look, like, I'm telling you, like, I need you. You are my only choice. Like, you have to be Gina. Yeah. And she rolled with it. And obviously, it was the best decision for all of us as fans. Yeah. So, and Martin went over to her spot to talk about it and didn't know that she lived with Tashina Arnold. Tashina Arnold was begging Tisha to tell him, like, don't, like, I want to get this on my own merit. Like, don't tell him we roommates.
Yeah.
But it was already, as you see her as Pam, I can't picture anybody else. Nobody. So they did their thing anyway. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to that whole cast. Garrett Morris is Stan. Since this will be not his last appearance, he'll have one more pop up in season 3, but pretty much seasons 1 and 2 is where he covered. And then you have Sean.
Legend. Garrett Morris.
Oh man, what is Sean's real name? Sean
McDermott?
No. Sean McDermott. No. We're going to look that up for y'all. My apologies. I forgot to write down his real name.
But yeah, while you look that up, I'm just going to shout out Garrett Morris, who was the first black man on SNL. So before there was Eddie Murphy, there was Garrett Morris. So shout out to him.
And if you listen to the podcast when we did our Wayans episode, the next black person after Eddie Murphy was Damon Wayans.
Yes,
which a lot of people didn't know, which I found it pretty cool. He only lasted 10 episodes.
I think it was 7.
Yeah,
something like that.
Either way, and
then he fired himself though.
Fired himself, went to Living Color, and the rest, as they say, is history for that as well. All right, we are looking up John Grease.
John Grease.
Yeah, my apologies.
Who the hell is that?
Did he play? Is that the same dude that played the dad in Say the Last Dance? Is that the same actor?
Who?
Sean Grease. Yeah,
probably.
Is that? I don't know, man. My fault. Random thoughts, y'all. Random thoughts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. It's time.
Before we get into it, last week we did our favorite holiday episode. What is your favorite holiday episode for this season?
For this season, easily, what is it? Hold on. Holiday Blues?
Holiday Blues, a Christmas episode?
Yeah.
You say easily?
Easily.
I think it's a tough one. And I think I got probably Thanks for Nothing. Because of the characters, because of John Witherspoon, the antics, the good eye, the eye jokes, Cousin Sonny trying to act like Eddie Murphy, that whole nine, everything about it. That's what separated. I mean, we got John Witherspoon in an episode of Martin. Like, that's what edged it out. But I will say, I laugh out loud every single time in Holiday Blues. Get out of here. That's what he told me. Get out of here.
Hey,
like, that scene
Gina
makes me laugh every time.
Every time.
Yeah, Martin just waiting. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what he told me. Yeah. That's what he, straight up. Like,
all right. What made you pick Holiday Blues?
What you just said.
That scene alone.
Yes.
Okay.
Gina.
That's fair.
Just that switch. Like, I don't think we've ever seen that side of her.
No, we hadn't, because we did later in the season, but it wasn't at the time of this episode.
Well, we did first
Black
season.
Jungle Fever.
Yes, we did, but she didn't actually get physical. And now she got physical. Like, all right,
Gina about that life, man. Stop playing with her.
Yeah.
We have the Varna Hill Award, which is given to the best guest spot for the season. Obviously, this is for the person it was named for. It's Tommy Davidson as Varna Hill. He wins that for season 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's just go with the flow. We're gonna have a real conversation. We're gonna have a real discussion about how this list looks. Just to let you guys know out there what we're doing for season 2. We did want to make it a challenge. So if we wanted to, we could say the whole season 2 was an honorable mention.
Yeah.
You really could. I mean, there were so many great episodes. Like even the final episode, which was Birth This Shirt.
Yes.
Obviously, classic Woody Hutton World Tour shirt. Anytime I wear this and people recognize it, like, it's got a special place in my heart.
Love, bro, man, in that wig.
Yeah, bro, man, the wig. Bro, man can't spell.
Nah.
But even episodes like this, the whole thing could be an honorable mention. But we made our honorable mentions. We had to pick 5 of them, so we only get 5 honorable mentions, and we rank our top 5.
Yep.
So we're gonna have that conversation. But before we do, said it till we blue in the face. The season is loaded. What didn't even make your top 10? What didn't make the honorable mentions at all? Like, what are some episodes that didn't even make that? Like, I just want to know. Let's get it started. School. Come on, man.
You go first.
Nah, man, I went first last week.
All right. Arms are for hugging.
Okay. That didn't make my top 10.
All right.
That didn't make my top 10.
Hollywood Swinging
didn't make my top 10.
One of them.
Neither one. And I guess it's safe, and I think both of us can probably speak for this. There are a lot of episodes where going into it, I know this is going to be in my top 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
The whole case.
Yeah.
Classic scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that separated. That's what was my determining factors. There are some episodes that are just from start to the end, to the credits. Just comedy, like laughing out loud. And there are other episodes with classic all-time Martin scenes that just don't stand up to, like I said, we're not doing the best scenes of Martin all the time. We're doing the best episodes. So some classic scenes that just didn't make the cut. All right, you said Hollywood Swinging. What else you got? That didn't make the cut. Yeah, didn't even make your honorable mentions.
Remember the Time.
Okay, I don't agree with you there, but that's fair. There's a lot of episodes in there. It didn't make my top 5. So
okay, I got you.
I'll put some of mine. Control, which is tough. People love Control, and I love Control too. I really do enjoy Control. Martin Ash Shanae was on a whole nother like level of comedy.
Yes, that's a fact.
And it hurt me to not have that in even my honorable mention, but I just couldn't. When I made my list, I just couldn't do it. It was probably number 11. Baby, It's You. I didn't make it. That didn't make my honorable mention. Whoop, There It Ain't. Fat Like That. Shout out to FAMU. Shout out to my big sis. And we said Arms Are for Hugging. So
yeah. That's. I mean, everything you've said is
which is
much.
I would have never thought that when it came down to top 10. So don't kill us out here for this,
please.
What are your honorable mentions? What are your 5? You don't have to rank them. You don't have to go through 10 through 6. But what are the 5 honorable mentions that you have for season 2? You go first.
Right. So I'm gonna go first. These are my 5 honorable mentions.
Shit.
Control. I'm gonna start there because you
that's
have
fair.
that on you. So
easily can be an honorable mention. Easily could be a top 5. If somebody told me that's top 5, then I'm not mad at them.
Yes. You've Got a Friend.
Okay.
Okay, that's an honorable mention.
Okay. Can I tell you something?
What?
I didn't even have that. I'm sorry. Never mind. I take that back. Keep going.
Okay. Yours, Mine's, Ours.
Okay. Okay.
I Don't Have the Heart.
Okay.
And then let me see. It was one more that I had. I said Arms Are for Hugging, right?
Yes, you said Arms Are for Hugging. No, you said Arms Are for Hugging. You didn't have in your honorable mention. Oh man.
I think that's what I got here.
That's what you think you got. What?
Arms Are for Hugging. I wrote that down on here.
Oh, did you misspeak earlier and said that it wasn't in your honorable mention when it was supposed to be?
No, it shouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying. So what's your 5th honorable mention? Oh man. All right, man. So let me get into my honorable mentions. Do You Remember the Time? Got to Be There. Beat It. Working Day and Night. You Got a Friend. You Got a Friend. Actually, you know what? I would take You Got a Friend out and put Simon in the Skybox. I can't think of the name of the episode, but I will put that in there.
I Don't Have the Heart.
Yeah, I Don't Have the Heart.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in my honorable mention. So once again, this will be my, de facto 6 through 10. Do You Remember the Time? Got to Be There. Beat It. Working Day and Night. And You Got a Friend. Okay. Did you find out your 5th one?
No, I don't have it written down.
All right, man. Let's get into the top 5.
Go ahead.
No, you go first. This is your week to go first.
Top 5. All right.
What's your number 5?
Gina Is Not My Lover.
Bruh, I'm out. Are you serious? That's number 5?
Yes.
Bruh, explain yourself.
Gina.
Explain yourself. How's that number 5?
You got that higher? Okay.
No, explain yourself. Like, talk about it. Like, how is that number 5? Like, what stopped that from being ranked higher? You don't have to. Shit. All right.
My other 4.
We'll talk about it, man. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Anyway, my number 5 is Yours, Mine, and Ours.
Okay.
The classic Hashitashi episode. It's a hidden gem. It was borderline of making my top 5. And I'll tell you the reason it snuck in. I won't say snuck in, but the reason it got selected was because of the scene when Martin was waiting at Gina's spot, and he made the joke about the wig. Like, where'd you find that wig? It was under your bed, Gina, shivering, scared to death. Like that scene, that line, that joke, everything about that. Like Martin just being super on edge. Martin, like, nah, this is ours. Like, just that I'm not going. I wanted this TV. I'm gonna do everything I can. If I can't have it, you're gonna be miserable. Yeah. The whole 9. The girls, Gina coming up. What we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. What we talked about earlier with Gina being.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Side note, she said she got that or kind of mimicked that from Janet Jackson, trying to do the soft voice.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Are you still here?
Yeah.
Like, all that was kind of from Janet Jackson.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what made it into my number 5. Like I said, all of these could have been, my whole honorable mention could have been number 5, but that's what I really made it. Number 4, what you got?
Number 4, Got to Be There.
Got to Be There.
Got to Be There.
That's number 4.
That's number 4.
Okay.
That's too low.
I don't know how you got that above Gino's. Like, really, Gino's not my lover, but no, got to be there. My honorable mention. It didn't even make my top 5. It's a good episode. I enjoy it, but it's not top 5 worthy, in my opinion. It's around 6 to 7 range.
So,
I think one of the issues with season 2 is so many good episodes are right at the beginning, and there's a lot more spread throughout. But I mean, you get hit with 5 like back to back, and it's, I don't know, maybe it sticks with people. But I thought Got to Be There was gonna be in my top 5, even when I was trimming down my list, and it just made honorable mention. I had to give it some kind of shout out, but it's not top 5.
I got a top 5, and let me tell you why. The aspect of Martin driving 500 miles to check on his lady. Come on, bro.
4 hours.
4 hours, bro. With his homeboys, just like he said, they really the nuts for even going with him. But you want to make sure everything good just in case something crack off. And it did. So,
I mean, I get it. And the scene where he's beating up Luis, the maintenance man, that fake fight, just that makes me laugh every single time. I get it. I understand it. It's just not, it's definitely not better than Gina's Not My Lover. Bugging.
Say so.
My number 4.
Yes.
My number 4 is, going into this, I thought it was going to be a top 2 episode for me. And it's not. It's definitely top 5, but it's not top 3. Guard Your Grill.
What?
Guard Your Grill is number 4 for me. It's an all-time favorite person.
What?
It's an all-time personal favorite episode of mine. All-time favorite, like personal favorite.
All right.
It's probably got my favorite Martin scene of all time. The scene after the fight when they back in Martin's apartment. The way Martin comes out the bedroom with the belt on, thinking he's really doing something. Tommy Hearns and the whole Gina situation. Like, yeah, real champs hang together when Martin walked over. Yeah, we just too fine looking at her, man. She got it going on. Oh, yeah, that's my girl. That's Gina. Oh, that's your lady? That's a little man lady. What are you going to do with a woman like that? That whole scene by itself was comedy. Her going back to Gina, or excuse me, him going back to Gina, like, hey, we about to roll hit another party. You trying to go? Like, I won't.
Beginning to end.
So that man, I'm not talking to you.
Is perfect, bro. There is not a scene in it where you shouldn't be laughing.
There's some good laughs in it, bro. It's in my top 5. It's in my top 5, but I can say the same thing about Gina's Not My Lover. Like, easily every single scene in that episode. Like, I can say the same thing, but that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
Working Day and Night.
Oh, hold on, time out. Let me shout out Gina real quick because a professional athlete ran down on Gina. Gina stood by her man. Chris Brown wasn't all the way right, man. Hey. They a little bit loyal. You know what I'm saying? Gina loyal.
They a little bit.
Nah, they loyal. Man. Women are loyal. Like, good women, like, they ain't going for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was just dope because they really got to, like I said, this whole foundation of this show was based off Martin and Gina's love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
your single friends be getting y'all and shit. You see Pam wanted to ride back.
Yeah, show them how to get there. Yeah. What's up, babe? What's up, champ? Hey, hold on, man. We'll talk about it because I know it's higher on your list. What's your number 3?
Working Day and Night.
That's another honorable mention for me.
Working Day and Night is classic, man.
It is. That's what I was going back and forth between 5 and 6.
Yes, the whole using people. When he told Stan, I hate to tell you this, but you use people. He said, Hey, yeah. Stan was on his ass, buddy. He said, my relationship. Then he called Sean in. You know, Sean is a lame. You know, he lame, so he's square. So for him to know, that shit is classic, bro. Then he talks all that shit about your friends. Then he lost his wallet. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, of course, but you knew that. You expected that from Stan. Stan trash, man.
Stan a dirty son of a bitch, man.
Stan trash, man. You didn't even talk about the best part of the episode.
The best part of the episode is when Martin, super fools, comes in a restaurant at that special thing that Gina had planned.
Yeah, the meeting.
With her clients. Came in fooling. Hey.
Martin came in. If I call it a biscuit, it's a biscuit. I don't know you, and I just met your lady. He was on Super One.
Already corrected me. Hey,
Gina, where you at, girl?
Biscuit. This is a biscuit.
Yo, fellas, let's be out. That whole thing is classic.
Martin, hold on. Let me show you how we handle this.
Hold on. Watch how I handle mine.
Hey,
Yeah, what's up?
Toxic masculinity at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Martin, man.
Martin got everybody hemmed up because he wasn't going. That's what's funny. That's what we know that about Martin. He's very prideful. Like the fact that somebody, it wasn't even about what Martin thought. He was cool with everything. We find out Gina buys his clothes for him all the time. He loves the clothes.
Hey.
But it's the fact that Stan or somebody else could perceive that as him being a punk.
Yeah.
And what was more important is, and we get that in a lot of episodes where the outside perception of a person or Martin, we find out it doesn't matter. It's not important at the end. It's really about his love for Gina, love for his friends, so on and so forth. But man, that whole restaurant and the sushi bar, that was classic. Or not restaurant, the whole scene. That whole scene. What we got? We got me, episode 3.
Yep.
All right, you Suspicious Minds.
Okay.
All right. If we were doing the best scenes of all time, this would be number 1. The classic New Jack City, dressed in all black during a storm. That would be the best scene of all time. Yes. I just think my top 2 episodes are better from start to finish. It's still a good episode, still a classic. My top 3 were really hard. I was just gonna say all of them are equal to number 1. But as I watched all 3 of them again, this was the one where I'm like, man, I'm really hanging on to this scene versus looking at this episode as a whole. They were originally supposed to have a real dog in that scene. That rock, I don't know what happened with it, but they told Martin we have a real dog, and then they showed up to set and had that. So his comedic genius of using that dog and pretending it was real, the cast wasn't ready for it. Obviously, if you're a fan of the show, you know that you can see everybody's face just kind of breaking character because of what they weren't expecting anything that Martin was doing. Yeah. The physical comedy from Martin was through the roof. Oh my goodness. Through the roof, like all time. That scene could be up there in any conversation of best physical comedy scene ever. Yes. Like he was just on one. The way he went over when Brumman came in and the way he like kind of shuffled over to him, jumped over the dog, sit, sit, like all of that, just thinking of that on the fly. Even Brumman like to the dog at the end when he left. Like that was that scene. The last 7 minutes of that episode are some of the best of Martin ever. Like easily, no questions asked.
I'd say so. I agree.
Yeah. All right, man.
And that's what number was that?
That's number 3.
That's number 3 for you. Okay, I like that. I'm right there with you.
What's your number?
My number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious Minds.
Okay. So what you got to say about the episode?
I agree with everything you said, but what really stands out in this episode for me was how he really didn't trust his friends. Like how he really thought his friends really did him like that. And he had that meeting with him. But that scene is so classic, bro. With the New Jack City sit your $5 ass down for I make change, cold dumbass, change ass worth like corny. But yeah, man, just good TV. Like you said, one of the most probably recognizable scenes from Martin.
Yeah, easily. It's this and Chilligan's Island. Those are the two where when you think of Martin, those are the 2 scenes that come to mind. Absolutely. They make artwork over that scene. Actually, both of them, but really in Suspicious Minds. So I don't want to. I know a lot of people might be thinking, "What? It's number 3?" But I think when you look at the top 2, it's gonna be easy to see. Number 2 for me is Really Gina's Not My Lover. Really Gina's Not My Lover is comedy from like you said, from the beginning to the end. The opening, Shanae was hilarious in that open. Like, and guess who walked away with the golden weave award? Like that whole thing. I what she tell him? I ain't been in a fight all summer long, and I will drop kick you into 42. Like just those classic lines, and you really did believe that. It's funny. The cast would say Martin was zoned out when he was in character like that. Like he was Shanae. Like they would go back. Like they would laugh so hard. You see it a lot, especially when he's Shanae. Like especially like the Control episode when he makes Pam or she makes Pam sing Old McDonald.
Yes.
And you see Pam's face trying to stay in character. Like there were so many times they were like, "Hey, where did you come up with that?" Like, what are you talking about? He didn't even remember he did because he was just going on the fly.
Yes.
So that Shanae, the Pretty Ricky, what they called him, that's an iconic Martin line. Pretty Ricky, what they called him. They said they voted that man the most likely to have it going on. Come on, man. Most likely to have it going on. Come on, man. Stop that.
That's stupid.
I really believed that Martin had that disgust for his classmates for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe he held on to that. From the day he graduated high school, he couldn't wait for his reunion just to shit on him. Like, one of the best things we talk about it when we discuss movies is revenge.
Yes.
Just revenge. Like, this is...
Yep, that's written down on my notes. Revenge.
Yeah, so in the movie Hitch with Will Smith and Eva Mendes, there is a deleted scene. I'm not sure how many people know about this, but obviously we do because we're nerds like that. But there's a deleted scene where Hitch runs into Cressida, which was the girlfriend back in college. He runs into her as an adult, and Hitch is the man, and she all on him, like pretty much he being charming Hitch, she ready for it, and he gets that kind of revenge. He gets to dog her this time, and it's one of my favorite scenes. I don't know why I didn't make the movie, but it's just one of those scenes I just like to go to on YouTube or pop in the DVD and watch, because nobody loves anything more than revenge. When a character gets a chance to give it right back all, and Martin, think of him as a character and him doing it to the max. That's what this whole episode was. That showdown with him and Miguel Nunez, like, was, I mean, how do you not laugh? You look in the background at the supporting cast or the extras, they're getting weak because they just carried that.
And for Martin to hit him with the you're laughing a little too hard, ain't you?
Yeah, bro? That was ad-libbed. You could tell. Like, I like to get back to the community. You got the jacket, didn't you, bro? Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey man, when Pretty Ricky said, yeah, I saw you, model, huh? Didn't I see her in Jet Magazine last month? Bent over, Scorpio, right? Yeah. They was going back and forth just fooling. It was nonstop laughs all episode, and the overall theme of it. And at the beginning of the episode, Martin's getting all this stuff done for Gina. Says she has to be there because she's his trophy. Yeah, and obviously Gina's way more than his trophy wife. Anybody's girl, you know, for the most part, should be more than a trophy wife. And that was the theme of it. Like, I ain't got to impress all these people that are in my past. It don't matter. And I love you for who you are. Like, not about what you look like and the whole nine. All that's just extra. So it really did have a good message at the end of it. But I got to have that at number 2. Classic.
She was wet. She was wet.
Super wet. Super wet. Super done. Super done, man. What you got for number 1?
No Justice.
So you were right.
Peace.
You called it. You called it. Like, full disclosure, we don't discuss our list before we record. And School said, I think we might have say number 1, and we do. Yeah. Go ahead and get into it.
Listen, from the beginning of the episode, right, when he gets pulled over, right, he clowns on the cop. I got the donut, all that.
Fruit Loops or something.
Hey, when the episode first starts off, like the first whatever, and he's sitting at that breakfast table.
Can I cut you off? That's the moment when I knew this was going to be my number 1. Just because that shouldn't have been as funny as it was. Because that was really pissing Martin off. Like, he was talking to himself. Have you ever been that mad when you talking to yourself? I'm sorry, keep going, but that's when I knew this episode is just no skips or laughs.
Absolutely. When he's sitting there talking to himself, the brother can't get a warning. You don't give a brother a warning, because that's how it really be sometimes. Like, sometimes it really be like that. Like,
Martin was shocked that he gave him a ticket. Like, he knew he was just getting a warning.
Straight up. He knew it.
I love how Martin, the show, can take a simple concept and just make it hilarious. Just build on an idea. Because this isn't a complicated episode. No. They were probably sitting around in a room one day and said, well, what happened if Martin got a ticket? Like, and they just built from there, because Martin's the type of character we know he's fighting it. He ain't taking it if he believes he ain't guilty. And how do we take this that far over the top? The fact that they even had a jury trial for a traffic ticket, like, the silliness in that by itself is hilarious. Martin can't take a win, man. Like, and that's one thing that his pride. He needs to make a show out of everything. He needs to make sure it's not about him being right. He wants you to admit that you were wrong and admit it publicly. He could have easily just he walked in that woman's court and demanded an apology from the city of Detroit. No, he like Prince Oberyn in Game of Thrones. Just take your win. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Prince Oberyn should have just took his win and went about his day. He didn't, and shit went all bad for him. That's what Martin did. That cop came in, it was over from there.
He was late.
And he was late.
You had it.
Bruh, she was ready to bang the gavel, and Martin being Martin, he couldn't just take it like that. He had to make a spectacle. Even him entering the courtroom.
Listen, just like you said, the courtroom, but even before that, when he met with the lawyer.
Oh, yeah, Blake Mason?
Yes. when he met with Blake Maislin.
Hey,
the boy told him.
Our Cincinnati folks will get that.
Yeah, when your boy told him he wasn't coming, he just knew he had the victory. Now I'm gonna make the city think about that. Your mindset. I'm gonna make the city apologize to me now.
Yeah, he on vacation. I'm about to act the ass. Like I know I'm about to win, so I'm really about to get something out of this. Yeah, Tony Angelo, the lawyer.
Tony Angelo.
The suit, just how he looks like one of those injury lawyers. Like you get in an accident, call me right now. Like I said, Blake Maislin. If you're from Cincinnati, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the comedy was nonstop. Get the draws. Like not the first get the draws, because we got the first get the draws when Whoop There It Ain't.
Yes.
That was the first reference to get the draws. Yes. But Tommy on that stand, Gina on the stand, to this day, for the life of me, I want to know what was on that Polaroid. Because whatever, I know it was supposed to be the new photos of her, but that was really a picture, and whatever it was shocked Tisha Campbell. Yeah. Like, it didn't shock Gina, it shocked Tisha Campbell. Yeah. Like, the look on her face is time, and Martin trying to hold, don't you ever go against your man.
Don't you
ever go against your man.
Never go against your man.
Like, and the judge, the actress playing the judge, was trying to look at the photo, and then she showed Tashina Arnold, and she started getting weak. So I always want to know what was on that picture that made Tisha react like that. Obviously, it wasn't a naked photo. You could see a little bit of the. Yeah, I would. If I remember, that's the first question I'm asking. Like, what was that? If they remember. Yeah. But that was comedy, man. No Justice, No Pieces, and this went back and forth with Gina, Really Not My Lover, which is once again, let me just express my disgust for you having it number 5. Like that's atrocious, man. That's ridiculous.
That's how I feel about Guard Your
Grill. Touche. Even. All right. So if we're both taking No Justice, No Peace to the final, can we? I'm sorry. Like, are you? I can't. I couldn't imagine talking about the finale without talking about Really Gina's Not My Lover. Can we take? All right. Can we do this? Can we take Really Gina's Not My Lover and Guard Your Grill and throw them in the finale and have another conversation? Maybe if I watch it again at a different time, 3 seasons down the line, what do you think about that?
Okay, can I? Hold on.
What you thinking about?
I want to try to convince you about Guard Your Grill.
You're not. I watched it multiple times, bro. Like I like the very first thing I said about that episode was I came into this thinking that was going to be a top 2 for me. I watched it multiple times trying to convince myself. Same with Holiday Wood Swinking. I watched that a few times. Like, there's no way this shouldn't be at least honorable mention, and it's just not. Like, classic, that Varnell Hill Martin radio scene, one of my favorite Martin scenes. Yeah. The KC JoJo at the Varnell Hill show, which I don't know if you know this. Jodeci had no idea he was doing that.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Jodeci had no idea he was doing that. They were there because they were supposed to perform like it was a real show. So when Martin came on and you see him and KC going back, that's all real. Genuine. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, KC, Joe, like all of that is real. So it's one of those genius Martin moments. Just let's make this real. Let's make it fun. But go ahead, man. I'm open to listening to it. Convince me. Like, that's why I said I'm open to having it in the finale. I think season 2 is good enough for us to have.
I was gonna say season 2 is good enough that we can take 2 episodes each, right?
It depends. So what will your other episode be? Guard Your Grill?
Guard Your Grill.
That's what I said. I'm happy with taking that, and then
you. All right.
As long as we can take Really Gina's Not My Lover. Yeah. And I want to. When it gets time for us to actually do the finale, me and you linking up, we watching that episode together, and we can watch Guard Your Grill together. Okay. And I want we gonna really have a conversation. Okay. We got to take a decision because I think those episodes are too classic not to throw in. I'd have never thought going into season 2 that Suspicious Mind wouldn't make it to the finale.
But that's just an iconic scene, like you said earlier about those scenes. Martin just has so many scenes, and you probably, whoever watching this right now, use them on as gifts and all that, but the full episode, I watch it for that scene. So but Guard Your Grill from just every second of it, especially when Thomas Hearns, man, shit,
he was on one.
That's a little man.
It's a little man girl. Man, what are you doing with a woman like that?
And then this is he told them that Thomas Hearns still asked her to roll. Still in front of Martin. Come on, bro. I got the ghost. We got I got to see.
That's the worst thing to ever. That's the worst type of person to ever get into it with. Somebody who knows how to fight, and with everybody. And it's not that like it's kind of a good thing because everybody gonna look at you. You crazy for trying to fight this dude.
Yeah,
like you know he gonna like. Yeah, you saw him at the end of the episode. Y'all know what time it is. But Martin's that type. He's so out there. He's so prideful that somebody like Thomas Summer, he threatened to whoop his ass. Because you ain't about to sit up in front in my apartment on my girl, like on my woman. Nah. Like even though you leaving out the door, you blew her kiss, bro. Nah, I gotta whoop. Like I know I can't whoop you, but I gotta whoop you. Straight up. We'll talk about it, man. Like I said, I think it's worth.
That ain't toxic masculinity, by the way. I just wanted to announce that.
All right. So just to hold on, we'll get into it here in a second. A little bit of trivia about some of these episodes in season 2. First and foremost. All the episodes that I had were directed by Garen Keith and written by John Bowman, Martin Lawrence, and Topper Carew. It was similar to season 1. They kind of just dominated all of that, so I got to give them a shout out for that. A couple things about some episode. Baby, It's You, the one where they famously ain't no umbilical cord, man. We on TV. That was the first reference of Martin Loved Kids.
Yes,
which is a famous Martin line. You've Got a Friend was the first reference of the Tommy possibly not having a job.
Yeah.
So that was the first reference in that. We talked about Whoop There It Ain't. That was the first Get the Draws reference. Suspicious Minds, first Nipsey's appearance, but it wasn't Nipsey's. Now it didn't become Nipsey's until season 3, but it did pop up in a few episodes in season 2. And Crunchy Drawers, there was a thin line between love and hate reference when Pam and Martin were talking. There's a thin line between love and hate. Obviously, a couple years later, Martin directs, stars, and writes Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Shout out to the Culture Garden. Shout out to Rachel. We just did that episode. Yes. I think episode 20.
Yeah.
So it's current on the feed if y'all want to go check that out. Also, shout out to Miguel Nunez Jr., who was in Really Gina's Not My Lover. They kind of played a similar thing. They had a back and forth in Thin Line. They had a back and forth in this. Both characters from Miguel Nunez, Joe Porcius.
Yes.
Like it was just real similar. It was real funny, man. So I can really appreciate that. I wonder if he was cast for that role in Thin Line because of their chemistry in that scene alone. They did pretty much the same thing, just back and forth and just that banter. Garrett Morris, who plays Stan, was shot in real life. I think doing an armed robbery attempt. So he was shot in real life. So that scene when they looking for the taxes and he makes it from the hospital bed, he shot that from his real life hospital bed. So I don't know how many people out there knew that. The episode 27, the finale, at the opening, they made a joke about him not finding a job. He went to every radio station. WNBC won't even hire me. It's like I'm being banned.
So if you don't know, Martin Lawrence is banned from Saturday Night Live.
He was. They lifted it.
Oh, well, he was.
No, he wasn't banned from Saturday Night Live. He was banned from NBC as a network.
Oh, I thought it was just Saturday Night Live.
He was banned from the whole. That's why he made the joke. WNBC. He's banned from the whole network because
it stemmed from a Saturday Night Live appearance. He made a joke about women's hygiene or something like that. That was just wow.
Like Martin was being Martin. We didn't really talk about this first episode about who Martin was in 92, 93. Obviously that he pushed the line in the stand-up, raunchy. If you watch You So Crazy, and things like that. But he was hosting Saturday Night Live, like School said. You can find it on YouTube. And even to this day, when you go on YouTube to watch it, you can watch part of it. And there's a portion where it cuts off and there's like this message from NBC. So he got banned people were so appalled. And think about it, like I said, 1992, black man not being controlled over what he's saying. And he was banned from the whole network, which is, when you think about that, most people get banned from the show. Like you can't come back here. That's like crazy. The whole network said, we don't want nothing to do with you. That's pretty much it as far as what I have for trivia. You got anything else? Any kind of recap as far as today goes?
I kind of want to go off of what you said about the writers. So I have some writers that I want to shout out. Just great writing season 2, Darice Rollins, Benny Richburg Jr., Cheryl Holiday, John Ridley, Kenny Buford, Matt Wickline, Sandy Frank, Bentley Kyle Evans, just all writers on season 2, and they killed it. Killed it. So I just want to give them their flowers, man.
This is what everybody strives for when they make a sitcom season. They were just all in their bag all year. So shout out to them. Shout out to this incredible season. It was very difficult to kind of go through the list. I felt comfortable as we got closer. And like I said, I think this season is good enough to where we're taking our number ones. I like it a little bit better when our lists are much crazier, even though they weren't. this season's so good that I couldn't be mad at you for anything that was nuts, except for
Yeah.
really Gina's Not My Lover. That's a little bit crazy. I would have definitely expected you to have that top 3. But with it being 5, with how loaded the season is, I understand. But I do think it's worth that and Guard Your Grill are worth moving on to the finale just because those episodes are better than Martin. You know, your arms are too short to box with Martin.
Right.
And if our whole goal was to find the best episodes, I think we can make an exception for season 2. So if you're keeping track, No Justice, No Peace, Guard Your Grill, and I just said it. Gina's Not My Lover. Those are the 3 episodes that are going on to the finale to meet with, so far, Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with Martin and The Great Pain Robbery. So we got 5 episodes moving on. Next week, we'll be back at you with season 3. Another great season.
Yes.
A lot of good episodes in there.
What up, Ill Phil?
Shout out to Ill Phil. Yeah, we're going to shout her out and see what she got for her top 5 episodes. I'm going to have to talk to her off camera and see what she got. So, if that's going to be it, we definitely appreciate y'all. Looking forward to getting back here next week. Like I said, we do have a movie coming for you from the Culture Garden podcast. Yes. Rachel will be on there. We are discussing, y'all know I don't give movies away. So y'all see on Monday. But check the feed. If you're watching on YouTube and you're like, what are all these movies they talking about? I only see a few things. This podcast started before we had a YouTube page. So there are a lot more movies that we have and a lot more episodes that are on our regular podcast. You will check them out here in our description of the videos if you want to, dig a little deeper into the Culture Garden. But other than that, we appreciate y'all. Much love to you. Shout out to all the Martin fans out there. Y'all make the world go round.
Yes.
Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool.
Peace.
That's where we got Martin from. And this season,